Welcome to the Women Who Hoop, your favorite AI women's basketball podcast. I'm Jay, and genuinely excited to be back with you, diving into another, pretty captivating story from the WNBA.
It's great to be here, and a warm welcome to everyone tuning in for this deep dive. We've got quite a game to break down today. High stakes, some amazing plays, and some moments that were just, frankly, bizarre.
You absolutely got that right. Today, we're jumping into a really pivotal late-season game. It went down August 31st, 2025. The Indiana Fever versus the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah, this wasn't just, another date on the schedule. This was big for playoff positioning. Every single possession felt magnified.
Totally. So we're going to walk you through kind of the pre-game vibe, the absolute chaos on the court, and, what it all means for both teams as the season starts winding down. Settle in, because this is one deep dive you won't want to miss. Okay, let's really set the scene here, because the tension, you could feel it, right?
Yeah.
Leading into this game, both teams knew exactly what was on the line: playoff seeding, momentum, pride.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure in these late-season games, especially when you're jostling for position, it's just immense. Like Coach Stephanie White from the Fever said, they're not regular season games anymore.
Right.
They're playoff games. And what she means is the intensity just ramps up. The scouting, the adjustments, the mental game, everything is elevated.
Every turnover hurts more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every missed shot, every bad foul, it carries the weight of the whole season. You're either securing your spot or, risking a slide that could mess up your whole postseason.
That really captures it. So let's look at the Indiana Fever first. Going into this game, they had a decent record, 21-18, sitting sixth in the East. But, and this is a huge but, they were just hammered by injuries.
Oh, man, it was brutal.
We're talking Caitlin Clark, their superstar, out with a groin injury. Sophie Cunningham, key shooter, knee. Sydney Colson, knee. Ari McDonald, foot. Chloe Bibby, also a knee issue, maybe out, maybe questionable. I mean, Kay, when you're missing that many core players, how does that change things?
It's a massive blow, Jay. It forces a complete rethink.
Yeah.
Losing Clark isn't just about her, 17 points a game? It's her playmaking, her gravity on the court that opens things up for everyone else.
Yeah, defense is key on her.
Right. So without her, you've got players maybe handling the ball more than they're used to, usage rates go up, fatigue sets in, maybe more mistakes late in games. And losing Cunningham shooting and defense, that hurts too. When you're down 5 players, 4 of them rotation regulars, the coaches are scrambling.
Just patching lineups together.
Pretty much, relying heavily on who's left. Thankfully, they still had leaders like Kelsey Mitchell putting up, over 20 points a game. And Aaliyah Boston, who's just named Eastern Conference Player of the Week, grabbing boards, blocking shots, dishing assists. She was doing it all.
Yeah, Boston's numbers were impressive. 8.2 rebounds, a block, nearly 4 assists a game.
But still, you can only ask so much from 2 players when the supporting cast is that depleted.
Yeah, my big worry was just how much more could Mitchell and Boston possibly do? You just run out of bodies, run out of energy.
Okay, let's flip to the other side, the Golden State Valkyries. Now, this is a story, an expansion team.
Incredible story.
And they came into this game 2018, holding down 4th place in the West. I mean, for a first-year team to be doing that, known for hitting threes, playing tough defense, it's just, wow.
It really is. It's a huge credit to their front office, their scouting, and Coach Natalie Nekese. Building that kind of identity and competing right away, that's rare. Super rare.
But they weren't totally healthy either, right?
No, they had their own injury issues too. Kayla Thornton, big defensive presence, out for the season with a knee. Cecilia Zandalicini, calf. Tiffany Hayes, knee. And for this specific game, Monique Billings, key rebounder, was out with an ankle. So maybe not quite as many absences as the Fever, but still significant losses that tested their depth, especially inside.
So really a battle of attrition even before tip-off.
Yeah.
But the Valkyries core was stepping up big time. Veronica Burton, she's been amazing, right? An all-WNBA candidate. Absolutely. Burton's been fantastic, averaging 12 points, almost 6 assists over a steal, plus blocks. She's been their engine. And Tammy Fagbendel giving them solid rebounding too, around 5 boards a game.
So with both teams dealing with injuries but having key players performing, the playoff implications were just huge for this one game.
Oh, massive. Crucially important. For Indiana, a win could have really solidified their spot. Their playoff odds were like 94% before the game. A loss drops them to 89%. Still pretty good, but, introduces that bit of doubt.
Makes things a little tighter.
Exactly. And they were already looking more like a 6th to 8th seed finisher in the East.
Yeah.
And then you get into the nitty-gritty, the magic numbers.
Okay, yeah, explain that a bit. Magic numbers.
Right. So basically, it's the combined number of wins your team needs or losses by the team you're chasing or battling to clinch a spot or a better seed. So Indiana's numbers with Seattle, LA, and Golden State were 3, 4, and 6, respectively. Losing this game hurt their record and gave Golden State the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Oof, that's big.
Huge. Golden State swept the season series 3-0 after this win. If they end up with the same record, Golden State wins the tiebreaker. That's a massive advantage psychologically and mathematically.
Wow. Lose the game, lose the tiebreaker. Tough night for the Fever. And for the Valkyries. This win was
A major boost.
Yeah.
Solidified their 4th spot in the West, kept Seattle and LA at bay for now, and interestingly, it even kept the doors slightly open for them to potentially catch the New York Liberty for the 5th overall seed, especially if New York keeps struggling with injuries.
So that tiebreaker sweep against Indiana could be really, really important down the line.
Absolutely critical. It just underlines what Coach White said. Every game from here on out is a playoff game. The stakes walking into the Chase Center that night were just incredibly high.
Okay, so let's get into the game itself because, man, this was something else, not just the basketball. Chase Center, San Francisco, packed house, right? Like 18,000 fans reported.
Yeah, great atmosphere reported, ready for a big game. But then, the shot clocks. It became the defining and honestly the most frustrating part of a whole night. Unprecedented technical difficulties.
It was unbelievable. I mean, what was actually happening?
It was chaos right from the start. The main clocks were out of sync. They wouldn't reset properly. Sometimes they just weren't working at all. It led to constant stoppages. Officials huddled, trying to figure it out.
They brought out manual ones.
Right, they did. They brought manual clocks courtside, and then those started malfunctioning too. At points, you had officials literally counting down the seconds out loud. It just destroyed any sense of rhythm or flow.
I heard the first half alone took something like 2.5 hours. Is that right?
That's what was reported, yeah.
Yeah.
2.5 hours for one half of basketball because of all the delays. It was insane. And you saw it online, right?
Yeah.
Fans were livid.
Oh, yeah. Clown show, unacceptable, insane. People were saying they should have just postponed it. From a player's point of view, Kay, how does that constant stopping and starting mess with you?
It's incredibly difficult, mentally and physically. You thrive on rhythm. Imagine you hit a big shot, you're feeling it, and then whistle, stop, clock issue. It just breaks your concentration completely.
Kills momentum.
Totally. For coaches, running plays becomes a nightmare. You call something, it gets interrupted, hot shooters cool down, maybe guys start overthinking things. It disrupts everything. It's honestly, credit to both teams for even trying to play through that mess. It favored nobody.
Just wild. I can only imagine the frustration. Okay, so despite all that, the game did happen. First quarter, Golden State came out. Well, Scorching Hot doesn't even cover it. From 3.
Unbelievable. They hit 7 of their first 8 3-pointers, 7. Iliana Rupert, Janelle Salaün. They just couldn't miss early on. It was like target practice.
While the Fevers were struggling to get anything going, Odyssey Sims hit a 3, but that was about it early. Golden State jumps out 25-14 after 1. I mean, 7 for 8 from deep. How do you even react to that as a defense?
It puts you on your heels immediately. And what was concerning, looking at it from Indiana's side, was that their perimeter defense looked shaky. You saw defenders getting sucked into the paint too much, maybe overhelping, leaving shooters open.
Yeah, leaving shooters open against this team.
Exactly. Golden State leads the league in threes made. This wasn't a secret weapon. You have to wonder why the adjustments weren't quicker to really challenge those outside shots, even if it meant maybe giving up something inside. Sometimes a team gets hot, yeah, but you can't just give them wide open looks.
So was it a strategic choice that backfired, maybe trying to protect the paint, or just bad execution?
That's the million-dollar question Coach White was probably asking herself. It looked like they were trying to protect the paint initially, maybe worried about drives or cuts. But when Rupert and Salaün started hitting even contested ones, you got to ask, okay, when do we shift? When do we push out harder? Maybe they waited just a beat too long.
Makes sense. Okay, second quarter. The Valkyries shooting. It actually continued.
It did. They hit 90% from 3 at one point in the quarter. 90! It settled down slightly, maybe around 83% by halftime. But still just astronomical numbers. Remember, they averaged 10 threes a game, best in the league. So while this was hot, it's what they do.
Wow. And for the Fever, who stepped up to try and stop the bleeding.
Aerial Powers. She came off the bench and gave them some really good energy. Got some buckets, got to the free throw line, drew fouls. She was aggressive, trying to inject some life into the team.
They needed it.
Desperately. But Golden State wasn't just shooting lights out. They were also killing Indiana on the boards in that quarter. They were sending 3, sometimes 4 players to crash the glass. Indiana couldn't get second chances, and the Valkyries often turned their own offensive rebounds into points. That combination, hot shooting plus dominating rebounds, it's tough to overcome.
Yeah, suffocating. So despite Power's energy, the Fever couldn't really make a dent. They went into that super long halftime down 13 points, 36-23. All right, second half. Did the Fever find a spark? Did the chaos continue?
Well, the chaos definitely continued with the clocks, but the Fever did show some fight coming out of the break. Kelsey Mitchell hit a big 3 right away to start the third quarter.
Much needed.
Absolutely. And that seemed to ignite a little run for them. They started chipping away, actually cut the lead down to single digits. I think it got to 8 points at one stage.
Okay, getting interesting.
Yeah, Natasha Howard was battling inside too, grabbing rebounds, getting some scores. They were clearly trying to attack the paint more, draw fouls, knowing they probably couldn't win a shootout from deep.
And we had some weird calls in the second half too, right? The travels on Howard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Multiple travel calls on Natasha Howard.
Yeah.
Odd. You saw the reactions online. Some people found it kind of funny given everything else going on. But for Fever fans, it had been incredibly frustrating. Seemed to disrupt her rhythm.
And that defensive 3 seconds call? You don't see that often.
Very rare call against the Valkyries. Just added to the overall weirdness of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe a lapse by them. Maybe an official trying to make a point amidst the clock chaos. Who knows? But the bigger issue for Indiana, despite battling back, was their own three-point shooting.
Still cold.
Ice cold.
Yeah.
They finished the game shooting around 14% from 3. 14%. You can't win consistently shooting like that, especially when the other team is hitting everything.
Yeah, that disparity is just too much to overcome. So Golden State weathered that third quarter push.
They did. They absorbed the run, stayed composed despite the ongoing clock issues, and then started to pull away again late. There was one play, late Carla Light drew a foul on Natasha Howard near the end, got to the line. Commentators called it the dagger.
Sealed it.
Pretty much. It pushed the lead back up, killed the Fever's momentum, and Golden State closed it out for a 75-63 win. A chaotic game, but ultimately a decisive victory for the Valkyries.
All right, so let's break it down. After all that chaos, the shooting, the stops and starts, where was this game really won by the Valkyries, and where did the Fever fall short? What was Golden State's winning formula?
Well, for the Valkyries, it was really a mix of incredible execution and, honestly, superior mental toughness in bizarre circumstances.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you have to start with the three-point barrage.
Yeah, impossible to ignore.
Right. Especially that first half. It wasn't just making shots. They were getting good shots. Moving the ball, finding the open player, exploiting Indiana's defense. Rupert going 5 for 8 from deep. Those felt like timely daggers every time Indiana tried to make a push.
Just kept answering.
Exactly. Second, their defensive execution was really solid, particularly given Indiana's depleted roster. Coach Nick Assis specifically praised assistant coach Cassie Powell's game plan. They did a good job limiting Mitchell and Boston, contested shots well, didn't foul excessively, and importantly, controlled the defensive glass. Denying Indiana's second chances was huge when the Fever couldn't buy a shot from outside.
And you mentioned their mental toughness. It felt like they almost used the delays.
That's what Coach Nakase said. She talked about their maturity level, their trust. She said they used those endless stoppages not to get frustrated, but as many timeouts to talk strategy, especially on defense. To stay focused like that amidst that kind of chaos, especially for an expansion team dealing with their own injuries, that's impressive. That speaks volumes about their culture.
Turning a negative into a positive, almost.
Kind of. And lastly, don't forget the bench impact. Kate Martin coming in and hitting 3 for 3 from deep, including that massive 4-point play. That's huge production when your starters need a breather or when the opponent is making a run.
Martin was fantastic. Okay, so that's the Valkyries. Now, the Fever. Where did it go wrong for them? What were the missed opportunities?
Several key areas, unfortunately, for Indiana. The perimeter defense lapses were glaring right from the start. Coach White admitted it herself post-game defensive mishaps, letting Golden State get open shots too easy, overhelping.
We saw that, yeah. Boston getting pulled out, leaving shooters open.
Exactly. Yeah, and against the league's best three-point shooting team. You just can't do that. It's been a bit of an Achilles heel for them at times this season, and Golden State exploited it ruthlessly.
So a known weakness exposed. What else?
Their offensive inconsistency. Coach White used words like tentativeness, lack of pace, mental breakdowns. It wasn't just missing shots. It was hesitation, maybe forcing things at other times. And that overall, 14% from three. It just puts so much pressure on the rest of your offense. You can't generate enough points to keep up when the other team is shooting like that.
Yeah, hard to overcome that kind of deficit.
And while both teams dealt with the rhythm disruption from the clocks, it really seemed to affect the Fever more. Every time they seemed to get a little something going, build a tiny bit of momentum. Stop. Whistle. Delay. They just couldn't find and sustain a flow.
Killed any momentum they tried to build.
It felt like it. Yeah. And finally, just some costly turnovers at bad times, giving Golden State easy transition looks or extra possessions. Add it all up, and it was just too much to overcome on the night. #FastTechIV. Shining stars and strategic insights.
Okay. Even in a game as strange as this one, you always have players who manage to shine through the chaos. So, who are the real standout performers? Let's start with the winners, Golden State.
Yeah, absolutely. For the Valkyries, you got to start with Iliana Rupert. Hands down. Player of the game. Career high, 21 points, super efficient, 8 for 12 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3. And like we said, the timing of those threes was just killer.
She was incredible, just clutch.
Totally. And then Veronica Burton, the floor general, did score a ton, 8 points, but had 13 assists, 7 rebounds. She ran the show, kept them organized even with all the stoppages. Coach Nakase called her an all-WNBA candidate, and you could see why her composure and all-around game were vital.
13 assists in that game is impressive.
Right. And then the bench spark, Kate Martin, 10 points, perfect 3 for 3 from deep, including that huge 4-point play. That was a momentum shifter right there. And Janelle Salaün also chipped in 10 points, got them going early with those threes. Is a really strong team effort from their guards and wings.
Yeah. Sounds like a well-rounded offensive attack from the Valkyries. Okay, on the Indiana side, who battled hard and provided some bright spots on a tough night?
For the Fever, Aerial Powers definitely deserves a mention. She came off the bench with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and just brought fantastic energy. She was aggressive, attacked the rim, got to the line. When they were struggling offensively, she was a much-needed spark plug.
Yeah, she gave them a lift.
For sure. Kelsey Mitchell, despite maybe not having her most efficient night, still led them with 9 points, hit that big 3 to start the second half, and, she was working hard trying to create. And Natasha Howard, battling inside, finished with 13 points and 6 rebounds. She fought hard down low, even with those questionable travel calls affecting her rhythm.
So some decent individual efforts, but yeah, just not enough firepower overall, especially with the injuries. What about the coaches' reactions afterwards? Coach Nakase for the Valkyries seemed pretty happy, focusing on their mental game.
She really was. Very insightful comments. She stressed how they focused on controlling what they could control, ignoring the clock issues. She actually said they used the stoppages to talk defense, which is pretty smart.
Turning lemons into lemonade.
Exactly. She gave huge props to the fans, too, called them the best in the league, the sixth man, praised her team's maturity, their trust, especially with players out, gave a shout-out to assistant Kasib Powell's defense, and doubled down on Burton being all WNBA caliber. You could just hear the pride in how they handled the adversity.
Really positive outlook. What about Coach Stephanie White for the Fever? Sounded like she was less pleased.
Yeah, understandably so. She acknowledged the rhythm issues from the clocks, but didn't use it as an excuse. She was critical of the defensive mishaps, giving up easy shots, overhelping, pointed to the offense being too tentative, lacking pace, having mental breakdowns.
Didn't mince words.
No, she didn't. She basically said the focus for the remaining games has to be intense, treating them like playoff games, executing the scouting report much better. A clear message that they need to sharpen up mentally and physically right now.
You could feel the urgency there. And hey, quick side note, we had some celebs in the house for all this madness. George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle and his wife Claire were there. And of course, Caitlin Clark was there too, injured, pacing around during the delays. Must have been so tough for her to watch her team struggle like that and not be able to help. She wanted to be out there.
Oh, absolutely. Tough situation all around. So this game, as wild as it was, fits into what's really been a historic 2025 WNBA season overall, right? Lots of records, incredible performances across the league. Let's zoom out a bit, okay?
Yeah, it really has been a remarkable year. Just look at Aja Wilson in Vegas. She had that 34-point, 10-rebound game against Atlanta recently.
Wow.
That was her 35th career 30-point game.
Wow, 35. Where does that rank?
Second all-time. Only Diana Taurasi has more, with 54. It's just incredible consistency at an elite level. And she's not just scoring. She moved into the top 20 all-time in rebounds, too. just cementing her legacy as an all-time great.
Witnessing history. And her teammate, Jackie Young.
Jackie Young. Also against Atlanta, she notched her second triple-double of the season. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Doing that twice in 1 year shows her incredible versatility and how much she's grown into an elite, all-around player. That Vegas team is stacked.
Seriously. And the rookies this year have been something else, too. Paige Buchers.
Oh, man, Paige Buchers dropped 44 points in a game. 44. That's the highest scoring game by any rookie in WNBA history, and it's the first 40-point game by anyone this season. Just an insane performance.
Setting the bar incredibly high.
And then you had Sonia Citron, who actually broke Caitlin Clark's record for the most double-digit scoring games by a rookie. It just speaks to the depth of talent coming into the league now, making an immediate impact.
Yeah, the talent level is just exploding. And speaking of impact, we mentioned the Golden State Valkyries being an expansion team. They apparently broke some kind of WNBA record this year, too. The sources weren't specific, but their overall success making this playoff push in year one is just phenomenal.
It absolutely is. It changes the game for future expansion plans, showing you can compete quickly with the right moves. It all points to a league that's just getting deeper and more competitive every year, and the standings reflect that tightness, especially after this game.
Right, let's run through those quickly. As of August 31st, post-game, Western Conference, Minnesota's way out front, 32-8. Then Vegas, 26-14. Phoenix, 25-14. Then Golden State moving up to 21-18 in fourth.
And right behind them, Seattle at 22-20, LA at 19-20. Dallas is at the bottom, 9-32. So that 4-5-6 race in the West is super tight.
Very tight. Okay, Eastern Conference, Atlanta leading at 26-14, New York 24-16, and Indiana drops to third now at 21-19 after this loss. Then Washington 16-25, Connecticut 10-30, and Chicago 9-30.
So yeah, that loss bumps Indiana down to third in the East. Not where they wanted to be. Puts more pressure on them down the stretch, shrinks that margin for error. Every game now is critical for seeding.
Definitely. So what's next for these two teams specifically? What does the upcoming schedule look like in this playoff chase?
It's tough for both, honestly. Indiana has Phoenix next, then Chicago, Washington, and they finish against Minnesota. That's a difficult run, especially needing wins.
Yeah, no easy games there.
Nope. And Golden State, they have 5 left. They play New York next, which is another big test against an East contender, then Dallas. They need to keep winning to hold off Seattle and LA, and maybe even make a push higher, like Coach White said.
It's playoff time already.
Pretty much the intensity is only going up from here, like the hashtag outro.
So wrapping this up, what a wild night we just unpacked. Technical chaos, incredible shooting, huge playoff implications. For the Indiana Fever, yeah, this loss definitely stings. Makes their path tougher, especially with all those injuries piling up. Really makes you wonder about their resilience heading into these last few games.
It really does. And for the Golden State Valkyries, what a statement win. Continues their amazing expansion season, keeps them right in the thick of that Western Conference race. Handling the chaos like they did, that says a lot about their makeup.
Absolutely. So it leaves us with some big questions as the regular season wraps up, and we definitely want to know what you think. First off, the Indiana Fever. Can they hold on? Will they make the playoffs despite the injuries and that tough schedule? And if they do, what seed are they looking at? I'm thinking they squeak in maybe 6th or 7th, but it's going to be a real grind.
Yeah, I think grind is the right word. I'm a little more skeptical. Those injuries are just so significant. I could see them maybe grabbing the 7th or 8th spot, but I wouldn't be shocked if they just miss out. It's that tough. And what about Golden State? Can they keep this incredible run going? Maybe even climb higher than 4th in the West? They've got momentum. But that conference is loaded. I think they have the mental game to challenge for maybe even 3rd, honestly.
I think they can, too. They seem to thrive under pressure. We really want to hear your predictions, though. Let us know your thoughts on both teams' playoff chances.
Yeah, jump into the comments. Tell us what you think. We love hearing your takes.
Definitely. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give it a like and make sure you subscribe to the Women Who Hoop so you don't miss our next analysis.
Your support really helps us keep doing these deep dives.
It absolutely does. So for Kay and myself, Jay, thanks so much for listening to The Women Who Hoop. We really appreciate you joining us.
We do. And we'll see you next time.